Hello, welcome, and what is good, everybody? Tone here, and welcome back for some more Slice and Dice. We just capped off a win against the Hand in our last episode that I'm looking for. Which is a pretty fun run there with the worst items. Lots of surprises and things I wouldn't normally do. That was a fun one to try out. Experiment with. Lots of hands lately. Hey, there's a dragon. Maybe we'll run into a dragon again this run. But yeah, this was a good run on our last series, and I'm ready to kick off a fresh one here. So let's jump into a new unfair run. Alright, curse selection. The very important part of our run here. What options do we have here? What do we want to take? Here's our Wretched Crown again. A lot of players like this, but man, I did not enjoy playing with that. I felt that it's the kind of item where sometimes you just lose and don't care and start over, I feel like. And it's kind of rare, but I think it's not so rare that it's like it has an insignificant effect on like trying to optimize your win rate or whatever. Because there are a lot of situations where whoever's wearing this is just going to get piled on, and you won't really be able to do anything unless you have like an Undying side or something. So even though this is a pretty low tier curse, it actually influenced my play quite a bit in the last run when we ended up having this as a result of the worst items curse. So I'm not too fond of taking this actually. It's the kind of thing where most of the time you just don't notice it or it doesn't really have an impact on your run. But every once in a while, it totally screws you over. And there are floors like... I don't have a good way to bring it up right now into the stream, but I have like... heck, maybe I do. Let me pull something up real quick. Okay. This will be worth it. Don't you worry. Don't you worry. Do I want to maximize this? How do I want to show this to you guys? Fit to screen? Alright. Yeah, this stuff happens. And this was a little meme about Glass Blade, which is an item, well, you can read it right there. It gives you that 5 damage side on the left, which is awesome. And it usually feels like it's not too hard to lose it, because it goes away permanently if the hero dies. But you can replace that Glass Blade with the Wretched Crown, and instead of losing this item, you lose the run. And I happen to have Keeper here. Well, no, I'm thinking of Valkyrie has the Undying sides. But like, so if you had like Undying, then you could prevent that. If that hero happened to have the dodge side on one of their dice, and you might be able to avoid that. There's like a few things you can do, but this is not an unlikely thing. It's not really avoidable, and if you can't block 16 plus damage on that turn, you are kind of just screwed there. So yeah, that's why I don't like the Wretched Crown. Now I might have some like calibration to do as far as like how common that actually is, and maybe it is worth taking that for 2 points over Another 2-point curse, and like what is the likelihood that the difficulty of the other curse that affects you like every floor probably? Well, maybe not every floor. Like we have an example right here. Let me go back now. We have an example right here where this actually only affects you. You can't right click this one. This only affects you starting on floor 16, so not every floor. But most curses have like a pretty strong effect throughout your run. And this one doesn't do anything unless the hero wearing it dies. Now, for me, it actually does do something because I ended up taking heroes with like undying more often and stuff like that. So it is having an unseen impact in some ways on the run. But yeah, I don't know if like, I don't have any 2-point curses here. Does my almanac show any? Like, is Skulk worse than Wretched Crown? Maybe? I don't have the answer to that. Might be. Single Burst probably is definitely worse. Wow, this is only 2 points? I think Burst is pretty important in a lot of runs. I think Wretched Crown might be worse than this. So it's really tough to evaluate like how much one of these items like increases the chance you're going to lose the run over another item, or another curse, I should say. And that's just because this game's so complex. That's what I really like about this game. If it was easy to determine that, then what would be the point? And different players have different playstyles too, evidenced by a lot of players seem to love taking this, but it is not quite for me. Anyways, let's pick our curses. That was a bit of a tangent because I got to actually use this for the first time in the last run. General thoughts on this. Court seems doable, Caltrop seems doable. I don't really like any of the shield response ones, but this seems like not the worst. I don't like the idea of shield response early though, when a lot of your heroes only do 1 or 2 damage. Anyways, this seems pretty brutal. Like, how do I kill a freaking boar when it gains 1 shield every time I do damage to it? It takes forever, and I feel like it means that we might like lose on the first floor. Maybe not the first floor, but it's pretty nasty, I think. Haven't been a fan of Stony Grasp, which I've tried a few times. That's just usually like a pretty good side to have, and it even like it can't be replaced because I believe this Petrified applies at the start of every floor, so it replaces items that would normally replace across there. A cooldown once each turn. This doesn't seem terrible. I can work with once each turn over once each fight. So I could totally see Caltrops, slow spells, curses. I don't see a good combination that uses quartz without going over 10 at least. It seems like the game kind of wants you to take quartz, curses, Wretched Crown. Quartz seems alright, except Weaken is brutal early. It basically means that hero does nothing. What does our team look like? We have the Cultist, which is pretty good. Acolyte is solid. Buckle solid. Not a fan of the Ruffian. A guy that has a 5 pain side and only 4 health. I think the idea is that you're supposed to kill them, let them die to do 5 damage each fight. That means they come back with 2 health. And if they don't roll up before they die, then they kind of do nothing. This is like a mega gambler in a lot of ways, which is interesting to see on a yellow. I mean, it makes sense because the yellow has a lot of these pain sides as they go up, but the way this one's designed is kind of interesting in that way. The Dabble is okay. I feel like the Dabbler is still the best out of the Dabble, Dabbler, and Dabblist tree. And I'm not sure if the Dabble and the Dabblist are below or over like median hero strength for the oranges for me. But yeah, I like this squad overall. think I'm really not a fan of the Ruffian. I'm looking at this and I'm just like, sorry, bud, but I have like a distaste for you being in my squad. But that factors into whether we want to reroll this. I think I would do like caltrops, slow spells, and then curses. Caltrops is all heroes replace the rightmost side with one self-damage cantrip. It's kind of rough with our starting squad because we actually have a lot of good right sides. Well, maybe not good, but we have a lot of right sides, and it actually makes our orange do like no damage. I think having the dabble as our orange might be a reason we can't take that. Also the Ruffian, which doesn't do a lot of damage except for this, and having the caltrop side on there means that they become a lot harder to save if they do roll this afterwards, because they're going to damage themselves. The cultist is kind of rough with that, because I kind of like to keep their health topped off a bit so that I can use these pain sides to gain mana. Wow, we don't have a lot of damage in general in this squad, except the cultist ends up being solid front load damage. But the dabble and the ruffian are pretty low damage, orange and yellows, which I don't like. So maybe this starting squad is actually pretty bad. And I think having those all make caltrops not as pickable as it might normally be. I'm gonna reroll this. I was gonna rate this starting squad and selection out of 10. I feel like it's like just below half. So I'm gonna re-roll this and see what we get. This is a wide. Why'd it go wide? It's interesting. Instead of tall like it normally does. 5 single spells. Add single cast to all spells. So this is 5 versus the 3 for the cooldown one, which is interesting. Monster Pristine. So all monsters on all sides do ×2 damage if they have full hit points. I played with this before and it was pretty solid. I don't remember if I did that on stream or not. It works really well if you can get like some AoE attacks in. But it makes your offense like a defense, but you just have to do damage to a lot of the enemies. It makes backlines really tough to deal with. So if you can't hurt the backlines, then your archers and snipers and stuff are doing double damage to you. The squad is solid. The loss has grown on me since my first run of 2.0. They have some really solid sides, despite only having 3 hit points. I dig the Brigand as well. I like the Mage a lot. They just generate good mana. Mystic's a bit meh, but they do generate some mana, which I like. Squire's solid. Okay, this is a good squad. Start damaged. I don't like the 50% health start damaged. Probably gonna pass on that. I've noticed that a lot of the community, and by community, it's just really mostly the discussion I see on the Slice and Dice Discord. People are really turned off by start damaged curses. I don't really mind them too much in general, but the half is pretty bad. I've tried this before, and I'm not a huge fan of it. I think the 2 out of 3 ones, or like I guess 1 out of 3 missing, 1 out of 4, 2 out of 5. I don't know all the iterations. I think they're all not too bad. This one I don't like a whole lot. Add bones is fine. I don't like monster HP on 5 because there are a lot of enemies with 5 hit points that I don't like. Like our 4 snakes floor, my nemesis floor. That's a bad one. I don't like Death Shield because there are a lot of floors where you want to kill like multiple illusions or something on floor 1, and this kind of prevents that. Second single use. I actually like this one a lot for the value. Where does that leave us? Like, I'd probably try taking these two, and then I'm stuck with, like... Oops. Oh, not yet. I'm stuck with, like, single spells or start damaged. This might be worse than the last set I had the options between. So I want to do bones, and I have to take monster HP, which I don't want. So I'm probably looking at like monster I think I'd take these two no matter what, and then I have to decide between start damaged or single spells. Single spells, how do we feel about that? It's fine with Flare. It's fine with Gaze because I'm never going to use this anyways. Sorry, Mystic, but your spell sucks. I like to be able to burst more than once per fight. And it means mana generation in general just sucks. Or not that it sucks, it literally does nothing most of the time. I mean, obviously you can get like charge sides and stuff, but most of the time it does nothing if you, after you cast all your spells once. Which, like, for us early game, it's like we use Flare once and Burst once, and then we're done casting mana. I guess at that point we would use Gaze, just because. I think we take start damage over single spells. This, the more I think about this, it's pretty rough. Like, I was thinking, like, yeah, I could take a bunch of heroes that have single cast spells anyways, and then it doesn't feel bad, and I get, like, the value of the single cast spells, but... I don't like the idea after like a floor or two of all of our mana generation being useless. Because your mana generation becomes like a good outlet for damage even if it's only through burst. This raises the value of like spell items, I guess. You can have some more spells. It raises the value of like the rare... Is Spellblade the only one? Like the non-red or blue that has a spell on them? I guess we're going to start damage with this set. What are there other options again? We could take Bones, Monster HP, and Monster Pristine. I don't like I like start damage more than this Monster HP, I think. And that set requires me to take the Bones then. Which is just adding like even more HP to every floor because we have the Bones and the Monster HP. I think we roll start damage. I don't like having start damage and Monster Pristine together, but I think this is what we're being offered here. And I think I did like the previous set even more than this one. The previous set of curses we had. Oh, by the way, I'll do my little plug now. If you guys do want to support this channel and my other related projects, you can do so over at patreon.com/Tonehack. So feel free to check that out. You want to see what that's all about and show some more support. But yeah, otherwise, let's get into this game. We have to hit the Wisp here before they summon 2 bones. That just sounds nasty. And the Boar will hit for sure. We can't get worse than this, so we're rerolling this die. Oh cool, the Lost only has 3 hit points. Okay, so there's no rounding. I was wondering about that, because I thought the rounding is when you die and come back at 50% health, it rounds down. But the way start damage works now is that it only removes your health if it's a full 4. That's actually a little better than I was considering it. There's one that is 1 out of 2. 1 out of every 2 max HP. And that's a lot worse than this. So this is actually better than I was giving it credit for. There are a lot of heroes that have like 6 or 7 hit points. And this isn't affecting them as much. And then especially when you get to tier 3s, it's very rare that you have something with 12 hit points. But there's a lot of stuff that has like 9, 10 hit points. So this isn't quite as bad as I thought it was. It is something that's worse early, like in our squad here. But notably, it's not impacting our loss because they don't have 4 hit points, so they're not losing anything here, which is pretty cool. I'm gonna reroll all of these. For some reason I thought this was showing up as 3 pips, which I knew isn't the case. This is what the monk does, but it made this feel like even better. What does this guy do when he's not doing pristine damage? 4? The squire can absorb that. I want you to... Well, you do damage no matter what. You're not taking shield, so I actually can't do worse than this either. We're gonna go for the exert here. Because if we kill the wisp outright, that would be pretty nice. And I will take mana on you. Give me an exert. Okay, we'll take that. We can still kill the wisp outright if we want, and then I have to damage the boar. Oh, whoops. I forgot. So we have second single use, so the second dice we use each turn. Goes away for the fight. I'll use it on the brigand because I think we end this next turn most likely, unless the skeleton gives us trouble. So them having extra shield or 1 damage isn't going to help us that much. So I'll let the brigand do that. Now how do I want to? I think I want to kill the wisp and then damage the boar. So we're going to attack the wisp here. Actually, do I want to try to get this loss damage on the boar? With Cruel, which is ×2 to targets on half or less hit points. If I get you down to 3, then it does 2 damage. Because I can't... This determination pip has removed individually. Okay, so that does nothing. And it really doesn't do anything to the wisp either, because it doesn't work until you only have 2 hit points left. It doesn't really matter when or how I use this. So we're gonna go ahead and do this, and then burst the boar. Look at that. Turn 1 and I'm already using burst twice in the same fight. Good thing we didn't take the single cast spells. Let's see. This is 3 damage, so this is lethal. Cool. A poison finish them off. Our first upgrade here. Dude, I kind of like getting a gray on floor 2 that has a 3 damage exert side. I don't think this side is very good normally, but to get it on floor 2, which I don't think I've seen before, is kind of awesome. So we have the option of our gray just rolling that to end fights for us. It's also another damage source to help with pristine, which is about as good as blocking on the first turn. For the same reason, Sanu is pretty solid, getting a 4 damage exert. Chain, or I shouldn't say chain, this cleave attack is very good because it does let us hit archers and other backline enemies to proc pristine, but this isn't a very reliable roll. And even if we're fishing for this, I'd probably stop when I get damage on this guy. I'm going with the knight here, which is someone I'm not too fond of normally, but I don't think I've ever seen them on floor 2. I kind of like this. They have 8 hit points, unfortunately. Having 7 hit points is actually better than having 8 hit points, because you can either be 4 of 8 or 5 of 7 with our curses, which is interesting. Damage, I assume I just take damage there. Yeah, this puts a wolf at half, which means our loss kills a wolf. That's damage. And you can do better on damage as well. There's mana and health. I'd like to see that. Healing. One advantage of... Advantage. It's not an advantage, but by the fact that we don't have health on the first turn, it does mean that we get some more value out of our reds on turn 1. Some of the reds that only really do healing and don't have like vitality or other things, they can actually heal people. Usually on turn 1 you don't have, or everyone's at max health, so a lot of the healing effects do nothing. Can I let one of these wolves stay pristine? No? Okay. Should probably let the knight blow this, because they're probably not going to... This fight shouldn't go long enough where... Does this fight go into turn 3? It might. Nah, I'll do this. Which wolf do we want to kill? One hitting the red because they have less health, I think. And they're actually still dying. Yeah, so without the pristine, I can go ahead and kill the rat with a burst in this, but I actually need to split my damage here to save our heroes. Let's actually do it like this. Which means we take less damage overall, but more damage than if we didn't have to worry about the pristine. I think we take this. It's only really better if we hit that middle one, which we probably won't. One of the reasons I did not use single use on the brigand side is because I'm just going to re-roll these and hope to get 3 exert. I'll re-roll the mage, why not? Okay, I believe we have lethal here. Good show. Knife bag and coin. Replace blank sides with 1 damage, cantrip, and pain. This is a lot worse with start damaged, I think, at least this early. It's like, I don't really want to put this on the Mystic or the Mage when they have such low hit points. Coin is +1 to the left side, but you can't lock the die. Which I don't really like at all. So this is either a reroll. Reroll means that generally we get a useless item. That's the expectation here. Knife bag, I feel like could be decent as we continue the run, even though it's not very good now, especially because cantrip damage means we're damaging enemies to remove their pristine. So for that reason alone, I'm thinking about taking it. I'd probably even throw it on the knight or something for now, but I don't think it actually gives us much value now. It means we can take statue later. Even though statue is kind of bad with start damaged. They literally have 10 health instead of 20. So maybe we can't take it with statue. I'll grab the knife bag. This might be a tough floor with 2 backlines archers and us being at low health. I don't know if I can afford to put this on someone this turn. Do we just let the Mystic like tank with these? I think we do. I want to burst on this crone so we can damage the archers. Ooh, that procs second single use, doesn't it? I feel like I'm gonna need this shield. This actually helps us kill the crone pretty reliably. I can kill them from 3 here. If I do 2 more damage to the crone. I'm gonna reroll this and see if we can hit the damage side. I think we want to try and win on turn 1 here. Well, there's only one side that gets worse than this, so I guess we'll reroll that. And Mage, please give me some mana. Okay. Damn, I was really hoping to play Burst here. So which one of these archers... No, someone's just gonna die. That's too bad. Which means someone's starting at really low health going into level 4, which is a boss? I don't like this at all. Whew. That is the curses we selected, and knowing that they were going to be tough early on. If I had 1 more damage to the crone... actually, 1 more damage wouldn't matter. I needed 1 more mana. Did I reroll 1 mana on you, or did you roll 3 X's? I think I'm going to reroll 1 mana. Maybe that was it. Well, I rerolled 1 mana. If I did, I don't know. I guess with the Mystic only able to generate 1 mana, holding 1 mana on the Mage is pretty good. It's too bad that both of these people just die. I guess if the Mystic didn't roll this, which just didn't matter in the end, it could have made a huge difference though. If our Mage rolled like anything but these X's, this would have been really clutch this turn. But because we rolled that, our Mystic can't survive no matter what I do. Or, I'm sorry, they can survive if I kill this one, obviously. But I can't have both of these survive. So I think I'm gonna let the Mystic die here. Are you kidding me? Come on. Alright. The Mage really whiffed that floor, oh my gosh. Okay, it's Bramble time. We have the Dabbler, the Soldier. 1 health Mystic. You can't wear that. Sorry, Mystic. No knife bag for you. For Bramble, I just really want more damage side, so I think I take the Soldier here, and Dabbler's not even a consideration. I guess you technically have 3 damage sides, because this converts to 2 damage readily. The Loss has 4 good damage sides. These are all good for a boss fight. I think I just take the Soldier here. I'll go ahead and do this. Having 1 more damage side is helpful, I think. The Bramble's whole shtick is that all of our sides are single use while they're alive. So that's 3 damage. Holy cow, that's a lot of poison. It'll only be 2, which will still be a lot of poison for the Lost. So the Lost, I don't think, is surviving this turn. So I feel like I may as well use this. Can I do 6 damage to the Bramble this turn so that this does double? I have to do 3, 4, 5. Huh. If the Knight rolls damage, we kill the Bramble this turn, I think? Then the Mystic's probably pretty screwed. Okay, so we have 3, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Yeah, that kills the bramble. And then nothing saves the mystic, so you die again. And I'll just take this then. Was there a line where we keep the bramble alive for one more turn? So that I can save the mystic here? No, because even if I damage the rat, I'd have to kill them. And also then the loss wouldn't get... Let me see this again real quick. Just out of curiosity. Yeah, because I don't do enough damage for this to work. So you die anyways unless I do something else to block for you more. Okay. I thought that was the case, but I figured we should just... I just wanted to see real quick. Because that was actually a pretty complex turn. I guess there's no reason not to take this. Cool, we got through that fight. I don't like having so many heroes dying, but we are kind of front-loaded on difficulty in some ways with our curses, so I think this is to be expected. Alright, we have to choose an item. Cursed Bolt. After a spell is cast, 1 self-damage, we get +1 to the 2 right sides. Or Blessed Water. The rightmost side gets heal 2 vitality, which I like. +1 to the 2. This sounds like it could be very strong. That would have been a good synergy with single cast spells if we had gone that route. Now it doesn't do much for this squad, but man, there are some good things you could do with that. I want help now though. I've been talking about how I feel like we're front-loading difficulty a bit, and also like I don't want to take both of my first items or things that don't really help us now. Blessed Water feels pretty good. It's like a flat upgrade on the Mystic, so let's just go with that. I have your Quartz and Bandit. Interesting combination, because the Bandit flees if you overkill adjacent enemies by 2 damage or more, and the Quartz you usually kill by shattering them, which is killing them with exactly 5 damage and not going through the whole health bar. So you're probably not going to make the Bandit flee by overkilling the Quartz. It's actually hard to get them into a damage range where you can overkill them without shattering them too. So interesting enemy for sure. I feel like I want to keep the knife bag out. That's 10 damage, jeez. I think I'd like to kill the Quartz this turn, and then I can play defensively to save whatever the Bandit's attacking, which is the Knight in this case. They'll be doing 5 damage if I hurt them. I already have 5 damage for the Quartz. Huh, I think I just take this turn. Like it is. We could do better, but we could do worse. And like, I feel like there's almost no doubt, like basically the net result of this turn, if I just keep all these dice, is that the bandit does 2 damage to the knight. Which if that's all I lose on turn 1, and I gain killing the quartz, that feels pretty good. I'll reroll the red though, because they could do better. Alright, I'm just gonna keep that. Shoot, I keep doing that. You can lose their shield, bud. And we just work. Oh wait, I didn't damage the bandit. Okay, I did that wrong. I did that very wrong. But we won anyways. I think we could have done this without the bandit dying though. Or without the gray dying. Hopefully that doesn't screw us here. Okay, we are given the option to upgrade the red and the blue, which we're not being given a lot of offensive options here. We haven't seen an orange upgrade yet, and these guys aren't very offensive. So the Seer gives us a nice little mana burst, but I think their spell is not very good for what we need right now and for our curses. I like the Disciple because 2 mana on the red means we get turn 1 flares. We get 2 mana on our red and our blue. They also get these double use heals, which is a lot of healing and can be put to use quite well on these start damage floors. I think the Disciple looks pretty solid here. And Glow's kind of decent. I think the Seer is bad here. I guess the Seer lets us get 3 mana, and then the Mystic often rolls 1 mana, and then we can burst twice. And being able to actually take 4 mana and put it on 2 targets instead of 1 target with Flare, which I mean, we always have burst available, so it's not like that's not going to be an option. But it helps us with the pristine thing. But yeah, that's always an option anyways. All right, Disciple, let's go. The Seer is really popular. I find myself not taking them very often. I think they're better in... I think I probably talked about this last time they showed up, which might have been last run. I think they're probably better in lower difficulty modes, but I feel like there's too much we want to do on turn 1 to not spend our mana frequently. Go like this, I think. Maybe next turn Disciple, but not this turn. I need some AoE. Would have liked to see the whirl here. We don't have... I guess there's a few... Do any of the tier 2 blues have an AoE attack? I think there's one that attacks the top and bottom. Who am I forgetting? Oh yeah, Caldera, although we really want the Fiend. Fiend would be really good. Juggler would be good with Pristine, Ninja. Okay. Because I think the Soldier was essential. Pretty essential when we took them. But they're not... Like Whirl, like this is the Monster Pristine actually makes like Whirl pretty incredible. All these AoE sides are like so defensive and valuable with the Monster Pristine curse. I'm wondering if I want to keep this on the Knight. So you're taking... What did you roll, dude? 4? You're taking 4 damage, so this would save you. The crone is doing 3 damage to you two. The mage dies anyways, and you're doing 1 damage pristine to 2 to the loss, and they die if the... this is a really tough floor. I think Disciple wants to roll double heal. I really want mana or healing on you over 1 mana, I think. Or 2 mana or healing. So, oops, I mean, I think we're going to reroll that. I think we keep this. I want to try and keep people alive this turn. I think I will need some shields. I'm going to take that. These rolls are way too defensive for my taste, I think. Well, actually... hold up. I don't want to single use that. That kills you. We can save you. Yeah, you barely stay alive. Seemed good. No one's dead, at least. That's a lot of damage. Who's got that? The Disciple? Okay, you be careful with that Disciple. I wonder if I want you to keep this. No, we can do more. Take that side again. You're doing 4 damage, and you're doing 6 damage. So this doesn't save anyone. Guess I'm rolling for damage on you. Whoa, what are these rolls? What's going on, guys? The heck is going on? Okay, I think I'm gonna single use to this. But who does it end up getting played on? You're doing 4 to the lost. Okay, it probably goes on to you. Then we try to kill this guy. You know what? You do more damage overall with this because of this cruel effect if I just kill that guy. And we just save the knight. Just a little more efficient on damage, which could matter on this turn. And that's a lethal. Slate and goblins. Who put these together? This is a tough combo. So the goblins flee if they're alone, but the slate, you basically have to hit 5 times. You can't do more than 1 damage to them. Which makes it really slow to kill the slate for the goblin to flee. Some items here. Oh, looks like we have some actually good items for once. Self-shield 1 for each wasted point of healing you receive. Or the iron pendant, which is +1 to incoming shields. We're not going to have a lot of wasted healing, I think, because all of our guys, because we start damage, so we can actually heal normally. Now, there is like some burst healing and such where this does come into play pretty well. But I think Iron Pendant is more immediate damage, and it combos well with certain things. So I'm going to go ahead and take the Iron Pendant here. And I don't even know who we throw this on. I feel like the Knight's been the one that's been having the most trouble. Actually, let's put it on whoever has low health, which happens to be the mage right now. Kind of want to get more value out of this knife bag because it's pretty good against the slate. But we can't put it on the mage. because they only have 2 health, so we'll leave it on the Disciple for now. That is a ton of damage against the Soldier. This is 7 regardless. So we can save you with these 2. No, we can't, because we have to kill both goblins to make that work. And to do that, I was going to try and roll for Flare, which looks unlikely currently because we don't have any 2 manas yet. If we damage these 2, then the Soldier is taking, what, 8? 7 and 1? So we'd have to block / heal you for 5? Which I can actually do with these 2. Then if I damage you, that saves the Disciple, because you're doing 4 damage. And they probably heal themselves. Okay, so we can actually make this work. We need to damage everyone for that to work. Which means we're not killing any individual. And you have to roll 2 mana. Otherwise someone's dying. Maybe that saves someone? For that to save someone, that probably needs to get used. We probably need to let this goblin stay alive. Ooh, look at this. I never noticed this before. It's showing us that the crawl's taking place. Has that always been there? Did this game get updated? How have I never noticed that? 2.0. Wow. I have never noticed that. Is that because it also kills them? This is such a nice, like, UI indication. I love it. Cool. Everyone lives. And then we need to heal you so you don't kill yourself with the knife bag. And then we didn't get much progress. Except doing damage to anyone when we have the monster pristine feels like a decent progress. Where are you taking? Oh, the slight's hitting you as well. I was like, man, that's a lot of damage. I don't want poison. I want burst damage from you. I guess this kills the goblin. It'd be hard to keep the Disciple alive. Damaging this goblin helps us out here. So if you're only taking 7, then these 2 save you, and then I think we can make the rest work. No, we can't. I was thinking I had mana already and I could flare this goblin, but we don't have any mana. This goblin's hitting you as well. Wait, they're all attacking you. Wow, they really don't like you, Disciple. They really don't like you. I think the Disciple dies here no matter what. What's the best case scenario? The best case scenario is like these both roll mana and we kill this goblin. You kill this goblin. No, it would be you 2 roll mana, kill this goblin with flare. The Lost kills this goblin with any of these 3 sides, and then the Soldier rolls shields to help the Knight block for the Disciple to protect them from the Slate. And that keeps everyone alive, but is incredibly unlikely at this point. I think we'll be hard-pressed to find a side that's better than the Disciple here. 1 mana on the Mage is garbage right now, so we're going to reroll this. This is really good for the Slate. This 1-range poison, but it doesn't help us otherwise. But if we're assuming the Disciple dies, then I think it's pretty good. And I feel like I take this because I have to damage this Goblin this turn or we lose. 1 damage is so bad. I think I need a high roll for 2. Or 1 mana, I mean. I think I keep doing it because rolling 1 mana when all of our spells cost 2 is just so bad. Okay. Wait, I could have played this differently because if the Disciple is dying, shoot. I didn't consider this. If we're just going to assume the Disciple dies, then we don't have to even damage this Goblin. We could have saved these 2 with, like, this side or something. Yeah, I played that a little incorrectly with that in mind. That's too bad. At any rate... Actually, I should give you the second single use. Where are you healing? I don't know if that matters that much, to be honest. I guess I actually like you healing the Mage. Yeah, I think I should have played that a bit different. I hope we don't lose right here. We should be able to kill everything. Yeah. And the Goblin flees. Wow, that was a tough floor. And now we have to go into a boss fight with... I was going to say both of these dead, but only the Disciple actually died here. You definitely take that bag off. But we're going to save this for next time. Hopefully I don't die right at the beginning, but this episode is growing a bit long, so let's cut this here for now. Very tough run with our curse selection so far. Has not been easy at all. I think this does get easier as we go on, because Monster Pristine is the kind of curse where we can find tools that work well with it as we progress. We just don't really have any of those yet. And I think this start damaged is worse early on when we have a bunch of tier 1 heroes, which we only have 1 tier 1 left. I also am not a huge fan of the promotions we've been offered. They've been very defensive, and I feel like offense is more often the answer to success on a lot of floors, but thankfully we haven't been punished. Punish is a weird word to use there because usually we get punished for our own mistakes, but I'm using it in the sense here that we would be punished for the game not giving us options that we would normally take otherwise. So it's more like getting screwed. We haven't gotten screwed by the game screwing us, is what I should say. Those are the things you have to plan for in a game like this, and we are up for the challenge. But yeah, we'll leave this here for now, so thank you guys so much for watching. I got links in the description below if you want to check out the Discord or the Patreon or any of that good stuff. And I'll see you guys next time. We'll take on the Bell and see if we survive here. it's going to be a tough fight. I'm scared. I'm honestly, I feel like we've got 50-50 odds here. Maybe even less. I'm not super optimistic. But, you know, we've pulled through in some very tough fights, and I should say I am optimistic, but if I'm being realistic, I think there's a very non-negligible chance we lose here. Should make it exciting, unless we lose on the first turn. I will stop rambling and let you guys go. So thanks again, and take it easy. See you guys next time for this bell fight. Later, guys.